Today, we shall clutch the first generation Toyota Wish.
Bounce, nigga, bounce, 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 nigga, bounce, bounce. When I come through, hit y'all with the 1-2. Freak y'all niggas out, y'all niggas won't even know what to do. Brakes full, make all of y'all people wanna come through.
I think as an MPV, the Wish looks like an MPV, alright? It's got a really nice elongated design. If you recall, in my previous capsule, we were covering the Civic FD. You know, I kept saying that the bonnet is really small and the car looks off, the balance is off. The Wish has exactly the same thing, a short bonnet. But with the Wish, I think it's fine. Because it's an MPV, and I would say your main, or rather your number one priority would be your cabin space, right? And if you look at the overall layout of the Wish and how it looks, it does look balanced, it does look nice. They did pull it off. Now, if you're planning to get a Wish, let me tell you, you're really going to be spoiled for choice when it comes to accessories, okay? There's so many accessories for you to choose from. Even things like this, okay? The car comes with this cap kind of thing at the back, sticks out at the back. It kind of contributes to the elongated design, makes it longer, which is nicer for me. I think it looks nice. And this even comes with what looks like a modified exhaust. Now, I do hope this is LTA compliant because you don't want to get stopped by authorities on this. I don't know if it's an illusion or if it's just the way it's created, but the doors, they look really huge. It kind of gives you this feel that your passengers inside are well protected. So, right now we are inside the Wish. Because it's an MPV, you might expect it to have a grand interior. Don't, okay? Because I would say the interior is pretty simple, pretty basic. Of course, you get a really nice dash. Okay, the dash is really long, but overall, I would say the interior is pretty simple. So don't keep your hopes too high when it comes to the interior of the car. I noticed there's no temperature gauge, and I don't understand why. There's this little light though that tells you, okay, if your engine is cold, the light is blue, and if your engine is overheating, it's too hot, it's red. Makes sense, right? But why couldn't they fit a gauge? I mean, it's not like there isn't enough space, you know. It's not like a gauge costs so much, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit of a paranoid freak when it comes to, you know, monitoring the temperature of my engine, you know, because I wouldn't want my engine to burn up. Definitely a minus, negative. Now, this is interesting. On the Wish, you get this function which allows you to adjust the height of your headlamps. To install this, you have the control function over here. You've got your wiring. You probably need a tiny little motor or an actuator or something, you know, to move the headlamps up and down. So much work, so much effort put into that, but there's no temperature gauge. So right now we're in the midsection of the Toyota Wish, the MPV, and I guess the only thing I'll say is it does serve its purpose. It is nice, it's very spacious, it's very comfortable, and it's a 7-seater, of course, so this folds up to give you an additional seat. Now it's time for the all-important test. I'm going to try and get all the way to the back. I would say it is quite easy to access the cabin that's right at the back. But if you notice, I'm sitting in a really awkward position. I can actually bring the seats back, but if I do that, I must have almost nothing at the back of the car. Okay, so you got to choose, right? If you got a lot of stuff in your boot, you're going to have trouble carrying 7 passengers. Although you can access the back seats rather easily, it is really, really warm over here. This is one thing I find lacking in the Wish. There are no aircon vents in the rear. I may not have trouble coming out of this, but if it's your grand uncle with a beer belly, then he might find it difficult. This first generation Wish was launched in about 2003. They stopped production somewhere around 2008 or 2009, which means the newest one you can get is probably about 4.5 years old. It's going to cost you somewhere around $75,000. If you go for the older ones, about 8 years old, $30,000. I know the Wish looks big, okay? You expect it to be really heavy, but it's not. It's one of the lighter MPVs available, okay, because the weight is only about 1,350 kilograms. What I'm getting to is the fuel consumption. From the feedback we've gathered, you get about 12 kilometers to the liter. So that's good. So what's the power you get? 130 brake horsepower. I would say it's enough. Now, unless you're loaded with 7 fat friends like my friends are all fat. Enough. That's the best way to describe the power. I can't really see any major problems with this car except the fact that the air conditioning to the rear. The reason why we buy an MPV, of course, is for comfort for all our passengers. If we don't have them comfortably seated at the rear, it kind of defeats the purpose. And if you're not particular about that, if you're a driver and you like to blast the air conditioning, then I think it's going to be fine. Right here at Clutched, it's time for us to rate the first generation Toyota Wish. Buy? Don't buy? I don't know? Well, over here at Clutched, we think the first generation Toyota Wish is a buy. What do you think of the first generation Toyota Wish? We want to hear from you, so of course, please leave your comments in the comment section down south. Okay? Don't forget to click the subscribe button. I'm going to leave it right here. So please click the subscribe button. You can find Clutch on Facebook and Instagram as well. We're going to leave the links for those in the description box below. That's it from me, Jackie. Adios.